Hi class, let's play with delayed exception handling. So in the last video, what we've showed you so far is a try, throw, catch, block, all in the same function. In this video, we are going to discuss how to separate the two steps of exception handling in two different functions. One is throwing an exception, and then the other one is to catch and handle the exception in two different functions. Disclaimer though, what we are going to show here is a toy example that we are using exception handling to communicate with the users, which was what we said not to do. But I think it's appropriate here because that simplifies the example quite a bit, and so that you understand the concept easier also. In the first video of this module, we talk about how to use a simple try, throw, catch block to catch if someone is trying to pop from a stack that is empty. We throw a 0 and it's being caught in this catch block with expecting an integer, and just handling it appropriately. So if we want to delay the handling, what we are going to do is we will change the declaration of the function of pop, and then we would throw a no operand exception, which is something that we would be declaring in the stack.h also here. The simplest form of exception, just to show you this example. And then you can see that the catch block is not here anymore. So what we are doing now is just to test if if the stack is empty. If it's empty, then we would throw this no operand exception. So here we already talked about this empty exception class. Of course, the declaration has to match. So what are we doing in the main function then? So basically we were throwing the exception in the pop function, and then we are catching it in the main function. In the main function, we would do a try of this block, and then there are two possibility of exceptions. The first one is the no operands, which can be thrown from the pop. And then the second one is the default of the switch case, where the character will be thrown to be caught in the second catch block. Let's go over the code just a little bit to refresh what is happening. So we were doing the RNP calculator in this case, and we are trying to pop two numbers from the stack, and if it's successful, then we expect, because we basically saw a operator, and that's why we pop two numbers out, and then we switch that C that we just got from the user, and then if it's a plus, it would do the addition and so on and so forth. But if the operator is not recognized, then it will throw a C, throw the character C to be caught here. So in the first case, when pop is not successful, the stack is empty, it will catch this no operand exception, which was thrown by pop, and then just print out the appropriate error message, not enough operands for the operation. And if the second case where the operator is not recognized, we then catch it within the same function. In this case, the character E, and then we will use E and tell the user that, hey, it's an error because it's an unknown operator, and then we exit the program. Let's run the program, or look at the whole picture. And so like we mentioned, the main function stays the same, except that in the else case we would do a try, and then expect any errors come from pop, the exception, to be caught here, and then the exception from this switch case, the default throwing and C will be caught in the second catch block. So let's run the program. Let's do a 1 2 minus, so it's basically doing 1 minus 2, so the result is -1. That's how the RNP calculator works. I hope to help you to recall what this is about if you didn't watch all the video the whole way through. And let's do another one that, let's say, we are expecting a number but it's not there. So it's expecting 2 operands, but there's not enough, so pop it actually throw an exception, and that's what is caught in here. The error not enough operands. For completion, we will do one that it doesn't understand what the operator is. Like you can see, because now we have an exception because the operator is unknown, and so it got caught in the second catch block to print out the error message for the user, which we are not supposed to use exception handling for this case, to remind you, but we are to just show you how delay exception handling functions. So exception specification, the basically here you can have it be able to throw more than one kind of exceptions, and so that is called the exception specification. It actually also named the throw list. It's the list after the keyword throw in a function definition, or I should not call it a keyword. I think it's called reserved word. The general syntax is throw and then the name of the exception and then comma, and then the name of another exception, and so on and so forth in parentheses. Just for completion of this, so that you can have it in your PowerPoint or PDF, just to show the main function that we used. And like always, you can download the demos in Canvas that I think by now you probably already know. So to recap, how to delay handling of exceptions, that's what we talked about. How we can throw an exception outside of a function, and what is the throw list. So that's the end of this module. I will see you in the next one soon.